All right, hey everybody. Zoom is now telling me that we are live on Facebook. I just want to make sure that all of this is working well because I had some technical issues yesterday in the Replen's Facebook group. Let me make sure that is showing up properly. Yes, it is. Awesome. So if you can see me, if you can hear me, please let me know. Today is, as you all know, every other week we get on and do either a Q&A or some sort of a demo of Replen dashboard. And today is the demo day, but we also will answer questions. Obviously, I've got Greg Flint with me. So thank you, Greg, for being on here. Appreciate it. And we will be going through the demo today. So if there are any questions, please post them in the chat. Typically, I'll get to them towards the end, but I'm sure if Greg sees one as we go along, he'll make sure to interrupt me on anything else. So hey Miguel, hey Scott, excited that you're both here, and everybody else that's here as well. So is there anything, Greg, that you need to cover? Anything before I get into the demo?
Nothing I can think of right now.
Awesome. All right, well, let me go ahead and share my screen.
Awesome.
Share. All right, can you see my screen, Greg?
Yep, got it.
All right, so this is Replen dashboard. Obviously, we've got our demo account. So not 100% of the features work in this demo account because it's not connected to any Amazon Seller Central account. All of this data is fake, but it does give us the ability to run through the majority of things that you're going to need to utilize the software. So whenever you get in, you can see, first off, we do have the dashboard. This is where it'll load for you, and it'll show some basic information. We plan on, in the future, revamping this to give you even more helpful data. But right now, we've got basic information for sales history from today through the last 90 days. Additionally, you can see that there are two inventory columns here. And so if you have been with Replen dashboard for a long time, inventory without the two next to it, this inventory is actually the old inventory page. And so we keep this here just in case anybody that's been with us for a long time still likes to use it. But we will eventually transition mainly over to the inventory 2 page in the future. We just haven't decided to do that yet because there's no need right now. But whenever you click on that, it will give you the option to stay there or proceed. I'm going to click stay here just for now to show you some of the reasons why we have the second inventory page. So you can see that we've got the white lines and the red lines. Red lines in this case meant that there's somebody cheaper than your price on the listing. And so it was alerting you that, hey, you might want to watch out with this product. Additionally, we've got all of the different lines on this side that you could go through, and it became extremely overwhelming, a little cumbersome to use. And so because of that reason, we added the inventory 2 page, where you can see it's a lot cleaner looking. It also doesn't have a bunch of white and red lines. Instead, if somebody is cheaper than your buy box or than your price, this price will be highlighted in red. So you can see, let me find one. Yeah, you can see here, we've got the buy box price of $13.98. We have our price of $13.98, so it's not highlighted in red, but this product at $6.98 versus $4.99, that is highlighted in red so that you know to watch out for it. It's just a little cleaner looking. And also we have condensed all of those, I don't know how many columns, like 50 to 70 columns before. We've condensed all of those into just a few columns, and you can actually remove some of these if you don't want to look at them, which I'll show you in a little bit. But let me just go slowly and surely through each one of these. You can select individual products if you want to, for whatever reason. If you just wanted to select a list of specific products, you can. In this middle one right here, you can see that you can select what's a replen versus what isn't. So if you do anything that is maybe print on demand and you don't want that selected as a replen, or if you do anything that's clearance and you don't want that selected as a replen, then you would leave that unchecked. And anything that is a replen, you will want to make sure to check. So whether that's wholesale accounts or arbitrage or even private label, if you are replenishing this inventory, we have to make purchase orders. I highly recommend using that feature, because then you can sort it by just your replenishable items. So whenever you're making your buy list, you want to make sure that you've got your replenishable items up versus having to sift through all of these different things that maybe aren't replenishable to you anyway, because that's just a waste of time to look at that data. But that is why we've got that there. Additionally, whenever you export any of this information, you could export and just do your replen products only. Or you can unselect that and it'll be based off of the parameters you have set in here. Additionally, we've got a meltable section, and you can sort by all, or you can look at items that are meltable if you wanted to. Again, this is a demo account, We do upload this data from Amazon. So as of this point in time, we don't have the ability for you to select or deselect that. And we have gotten the request to still be able to edit that. So that's something that is going to be a feature that we'll add. But because this was directly from Amazon, we decided to make it uneditable. But I understand that there are still some products out there that maybe Amazon doesn't mark as meltable that you want to mark because maybe it's chocolate in the wrong category or something. So that is something that we will fix here in the future. But it is nice. So that's the reason these are grayed out right now, is because Amazon delineates certain things as meltable versus not. And we are in meltable season. So you want to avoid sending those products in. Now you can see in the title section, we've got a lot of different information. You can search by ASIN, you can search by SKU, you can search by title. You can even edit the title if you wanted. So let's just, let's see, maybe this was a bundle, right? And it looks like it's just this greatest hits, I believe that says Queen, a Queen greatest hits CD. Well, maybe it's actually a bundle and the picture doesn't show that. You could always edit it and say, you know, Queen greatest hits, plus, I don't know, Rolling Stones greatest hits or something like that, right? So you could do that and then it will save that title if you wanted, or you can revert it back to the Amazon title. So you do have the ability to change the titles, which I actually think is a very nice feature, because if there are certain titles that may be misleading, you can add that extra information in there. Sometimes, for instance, it'll say a 6-pack on the image, but it won't say it in the title, and it'll say a 6-pack in the description. And so you want the title to reflect that on your end, so your shoppers or you knows that it's always a 6-pack that you're purchasing. So in addition, if you click onto the ASIN, it will open up the Amazon listing page. And again, since this is fake information, I don't believe it actually opens to anything, so I'm not going to click it. You can copy the ASIN, and also there's your SKU where you can also copy that as well. And then this little nice feature is automatically built in with Keepa Graphs. So if you click that, it will open up the keepa.com page for this specific ASIN for you to just have quick access to Keepa if you just want to look at that. Additionally, you can see what's merchant fulfilled versus Amazon FBA fulfilled, and you can sort those pieces of data. And this is something I haven't covered, I don't believe, in the last one. I believe I passed up on it. I might be wrong. But if you click this little camera icon, it will search Google by the main image of the listing, which is very nice to have. Let's say that you've got, I always use this in my videos, but this Icebreakers Ice Cubes gum. Let's say you've got that as a listing on here and you can't find it in your store anymore. Well, you could click that little button and it will do a Google image search for the image on the listing, which gives you the ability to potentially find more suppliers for that product. So maybe if you do find it's not just at Walmart, but it's also at Target, it's also at Walgreens, it's also at your local grocery store, that can be very helpful to use it for. Now, one caveat, since it is Google's image search, sometimes it can be not as helpful if it's a more generic image, right? So if I'm searching for, these are all CDs, so these would be pretty obvious, but if I were to be searching for this watch, it might not bring up the Michael Kors slim runway black watch. It might bring up a different black watch, but it can still be helpful in specific situations. Now, this quantity here is the quantity that you have at Amazon. This piece of data comes directly from Amazon themselves. So do all of the different categories with which the inventory is collected into. So that is completely from Amazon. This local inventory section is based off of the inventory at your warehouse or at your home or at your prep center. And that's just based off of whenever you enter something into, you can either do it manually. So I could say, hey, I found 4 of these at home, so I now have 4 of them here. Or if you were to add it into the Replen dashboard shopping app, which I can show you here. If you were to add it as, I bought 2 of these things, click add to local inventory, then that will add it to this local inventory section. And I would have done that, but I'm not sure if I clicked on the same product. But what's really nice too is if you click on show recent transactions, you can actually see what was manually added. So I manually added those 4, or you can see what was shopped from the mobile app. Those, potentially 5 units back on April 19th at 10:05 p.m. We had added 5 to the mobile app at that point. But you can also see that some quantity was removed on the Replen mobile app too. So you can see all of the different transaction points, which is extremely helpful if you have shoppers or even if you've got just a business partner, right? You can see who shopped for those items if you're using the mobile app side of things. And you can also see if something was manually added to your local inventory just because you found it around your house or you realized that you hadn't been keeping up with this and you wanted to add things to it. And that helps you to know what you need to buy. So that's really nice to have that. So I'll clear that back out. You can see it says 5. Whenever I added 4 to it, it goes back down to 1. So it does, if you manually add things, it does adjust based off that quantity. You can also actually, here, I'll put that back at 4. You can click undo and it will bring it back to 0. So it can undo the last items for you if you want to just click that button. Additionally, by quantity, this is how many you want to buy. And so whenever you enter something in by quantity, for instance, this is showing us 2. So these, the watch, let's see if it's back there. I'll go Michael Kors watch, it's showing 2 because that's how many we want to purchase at this point. So the by quantity, whenever you enter something there, it will go to the Replen mobile app almost instantly. There's obviously a little bit of a delay and a lag time, but between the two apps, they communicate very quickly, especially if you've got Wi-Fi. Now, if you're out of Wi-Fi and you're doing offline on the app, it's not going to sync up until you reconnect to some sort of service at that point. It doesn't have to be Wi-Fi. I guess it could just be self-service, but whatever. So these are the columns for 30, 60, and 90-day buy quantities. They have been created based off of the units that you have in stock, based off of your pending orders, and also any inventory and local inventory and buy quantity. So if I were to say that I want to buy 4 of these things, it should update and show that, okay, well, you can still buy 1 more for that 30-day period if you were to purchase all those. So I'm going to click undo. And there we go, went back to 5. So you can see the calculation there as to how many orders that you've had, how many units you've sold, your pending orders, your inventory quantity, and how many we recommend based off that simple math of how many you should buy because of your sales data. Now, I like to take this time to explain that there is no algorithm. We're not making, we don't have some specific formula with all these different data points where we are telling you based off of these data points that you should buy this because of X, Y, and Z. We are just strictly going based off your sales data because we don't want to, with replens and arbitrage and even wholesale, sometimes if you're competing with other sellers in that type of business, you can have so many different fluctuations in price, fluctuations in sellers, fluctuations even in how things, time of year. So we don't want to tell you, hey, this is how many you need to buy. We're saying this is how many you should buy based off of your last 30 days of history. However, you still want to check out to see if it's profitable at the buy box price. You still want to check out to see what competition has done. So all of that applies to 30, 60, and 90 days here. And all of these are sortable, by the way. So if you just want to see things that are, at greater than or equal to 1, it will pull that up. Otherwise, you can clear that out and it will just show everything. Same, I believe here. Let's go to one that actually has more. If I do that, you can see there's a bunch more products that show up because I wanted greater than or equal to 1 for the last 90 days. Additionally, profit, you can see how we get to the profit amount. Now, buy box price, let's see, we've got that up there. It's showing that no buy box price is available. It might just be a function of the demo account because this one is showing 171.11 for that buy box price. So the profit right now is based off the buy box price for these products. And you can see all the different fees that come out of that, your ROI and your margin. You can also see ROI here, which is a nice feature to have as well. And then your costs. So you can actually manually adjust these if you wanted to, or you can do an import of the data. And whenever you import that data, it will add the costs for you based off your SKUs. So we made videos for how to do that from Inventory Lab. It's extremely quick to do. It takes definitely less than 5 minutes to do, to export from Inventory Lab and upload into Replen Dashboard. But that can automatically happen, so you don't have to constantly add it in yourself. And then your price. So this is where, like I said, if it's shaded in red, that's because the buy box is lower than your current price. This data is again coming directly from Amazon. So sometimes I know we'll get tickets like that might say, hey, this is off because I just changed my price in Amazon. It can take a little bit for Amazon to send those reports to us, but it is as accurate as we can get it from Amazon's reports and from what they tell us. So sometimes maybe your repricer changes something and then 10 to 15 minutes later, it'll show up in Amazon. And then maybe, 15 minutes or 30 minutes later, it'll show up in Replen Dashboard. It all depends on reporting. Sometimes it can be Your repricer changes it, Amazon gets it within 5 minutes, and we get it, a couple minutes later. It all depends on the reporting from Amazon and the timing of all those reports, but this is all directly from Amazon, and you cannot change your price in here. So prices can't be changed to then reflect back to Amazon at this point. This again is the buy box price. You can see not just that buy box price, you can see the lowest offer price, the lowest FBA offer price, and then the number of sellers, and then the sales rank as well. So you can see a lot of pieces of information here. And I'm actually going to show you in a minute how to change your profit, because right now I believe this one is set up as profit based off of the buy box price. But you can change it to have the profit set up off of the lowest offer, off of the lowest FBA offer, or even off of just your price. So I like it off the buy box price personally, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Additionally, buy links. So this is if you do
Jimmy,
a lot.
just really quick. So there was a question from Miguel, and just to demonstrate what it looks like, can you go in and hit the plus sign on the 30 days for, hit that one. So so the plus sign basically just adds the full amount. Now it kind of jumped to the bottom. One of the things that we want, take that 5 and make it 10. Or undo. Yep. Perfect.
10.
Yep. So now you'll see that and you'll have to filter that. So you'll see that the 30, 60, 90 go negative, so to speak. And then you can use that same button to drop the 10 down to 5 if you wanted to, or to drop the 10 down to 7 if you wanted to go the other direction.
So,
yep.
I'll put that back to 0 just so we have it back there.
Yep.
There we go. Cool.
So I think I covered most of that in the text, but I just wanted to make sure that we showed what it looked like, because the red can be like, what happened? Why is it red? So cool.
And this is also one of the reasons, probably the main reason, that we put in the undo button, because if you click this, it goes away pretty quickly. Because it resorts itself based off of how you have it filtered. And so if you accidentally clicked 5 and you wanted to add 2, you could just easily click undo and it'll come back and you can, add the 2. So
that's a super good thing to point out. If you're like, wait, what just happened? Undo is your friend. And it will, you're like, oh, okay, undo. Oh yeah. Okay. That's what I did. All right, cool. And then Scott just said, is it simple to get buy cost into software, into the software from Inventory Lab?
Yes.
The short answer is yes. I don't think, what we need to do, Jimmy, is we'll get so we'll link up. I'll, as Jimmy's going through the rest of it, I'll dig through and find the video for how that works. And I think it'll be an easy one for you guys to see that it's fairly straightforward, but that'll be a good one to add into future demos. Here's our pretend like we just downloaded it from Inventory Lab, but it's when Jimmy says it's 5 minutes, he's assuming I'm doing it, and it'll be really slow. No, it's literally less than a minute. If you know Inventory Lab at all, it's less than a minute. Quick download, upload, and then you're good to go. So
we made a video on it, and I believe there's also a document too that I had made a while back, and that should be in the Facebook group as well. The basic steps, just so you can hear how quick it is. If you go to Inventory Lab, you click on Inventory for FBA, you can export that, and then you come here and you click Import. And whenever you click Import, you just say that the MSKU is on this line and the cost is on this line, the supplier is on this line. So it can literally be 30 seconds of time if you're quick with it. But, all right. And then if you're brand new, like let's say you've got 1,000 rows or thousands of pieces of data, and you haven't done this before, it might take a few minutes for it to update all of that data. It just depends. If you've done this regularly, you're doing that, every week, it'll be a lot quicker for it to upload that data. But I at least wanted to give that as well. Now here, if you're doing any online arbitrage, or if you're only doing online arbitrage, we wanted to include the option for buy links. And so if let's say you see, oh, cool, I actually need to get 5 of these. I agree with that. I'm cool with the profit and everything. I've checked it out. Well, I can click this button and it'll take me to the link for my online arbitrage orders. Now, this is something you have to put in there. We don't pre-fill those in. This is just a fake link, right? This is a demo account, so we just made it up. You can add a new link as well if you want to. You can also take away those links as well. So you've got multiple options. If you have 3 different suppliers for something, and it just makes it a lot easier for you. If you're, instead of making a buy list, you could just come through and place all of your orders if you wanted. So there's that option as well, especially if you use by supplier. So maybe you do all online and you buy all your online stuff from Kilomart, which is, I believe, a fake store. If I can get this to go away, here we go. And you can see all the different products. But if you had OA links for everything, then you could just click through, make a quick buy list or shopping cart and place your order, and it'll be on its way. Now, you'll want to make sure that if you do that, that you still input the, I believe, the buy quantity here so that the system can update in terms of the suggestions that it's giving you. So that way it knows that those pieces of information or those products are coming in. You could also add it to local inventory, but many times people will wait until they get the products to add it to local inventory. By the way, whenever you ship something, the system automatically removes. So if you had 5 items in local inventory for this and you shipped all 5, it will then, when Amazon reports to us it's been shipped, it'll come over and make that 6 go to 11, and this will 0 back out. So that is a really nice feature. It does automatically do that for you. So let me go back to here. Click all. We're back there. Now, if you're doing retail arbitrage, then you want to look at store section as well. Did you have something, Greg? I heard something.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I forgot to click mute again.
Oh, you're fine. So if you've got retail arbitrage, then we included the store section option. Now you could use it with online arbitrage, but since you've got the links, it's not as necessary. But with retail arbitrage, if you've got shoppers, you want them to be able to know where in the store these items are. So for Brittany and I, we personally used our home-based store. So let's say in St. Louis, there's 6 different Walmarts. We used our main Walmart, right? Or there's 6 different Targets. We used our main Target. So by doing that, whenever we wrote down all the store sections, we know that even though the stores will vary, typically like products will be with those same exact products. So even if the categories, instead of it being A1 for grocery, it would be grocery A6, but typically the sauces will be together or the seasoning packets will be together, whatever. So that's how we are able to use it. Now, if you want to be more broad, you could have something where it's just home or grocery. And that way your shoppers can just sort by, okay, I just want to go look at the grocery items in this store or just the home items in this store. But if you can do it by category or aisle location, that makes it a lot nicer for shoppers as well. It's really up to you if you want to use it. We did make an option in the mobile app to sort by store section for that specific purpose. Let's say you've got 10 minutes to go and source, and you just want to buy some replens and you're like, cool, I'm going to go into this Walmart and I'm going to go to this specific section. I'm just going to pick up all the things that I need from that section. You're in and out within 10 minutes and you at least got to do some shopping while you're out there. Additionally, we have notes. I know some people that use these notes for a bunch of different things, whether it's mins and maxes and repricers, whether it's to have the feature of, saying that this is a 3-pack, or you need to get this specific type of spoon or whatever it is that goes with a bundle. So they can put notes for pretty much anything in here, and that transfers over. You can also see what's active versus inactive in your inventory. You can look to see what's enrolled in your small and light program. And then you can also see when the date was added or when these products were added to your inventory at Amazon. Additionally, you can, if you click on grid option, you can show and hide columns. So if I didn't want to see date added because I don't care, then I can do that. Or if I don't ever do small and light, then I can uncheck that. And those pieces of information, I believe, should have updated. Yeah, they updated right away. So if I go back here and I add them back, just so I don't forget, I can do that. I'm going to go back. I'll cover some of these other things in a minute. So if I were to be making a buy list, what I love about the software, after we've gone through all these different columns, if I were to be making a buy list, typically what I would suggest is saying, okay, well, I want to see everything within the 30 days, or maybe it's 60 days because you just want to see a farther time period. Let's say 60 days because there's more data. I want to see everything that's got 1 or greater of a suggestion for buying within 60 days. But additionally, I don't want to see anything that is a lower profit. I want to make sure that we're making over, and this is just as an example, I want to make sure we're making over $5 profit. And so now we're seeing everything over $5 profit. and I want to make sure that the ROI is over 40%. Okay, so you can really hone this down to make your shopping list creation much quicker. These aren't my suggestions. These are just examples, by the way. But yeah, so then you can see, okay, cool. Well, 2 of these have a price that's higher than the buy box. And so maybe I need to do some more digging into seeing what the Keepa chart looks like to see if I want to list that again. Or maybe I want to adjust my pricing in my repricer because that's the price and it's still a good profitable amount for me to sell it at. So you can really do a good job with honing these things down. Whatever your parameters are, that is up to you. And then lastly, let me look at buy quantity over 1. You can see all these items in there. Also correlates to all these items in here, which is, like I said, it's a very quick thing to do. You can click reset decided by quantity. So let's say you've done a shopping list or shopping trip already, or your shoppers have, and you want to sit down and recreate a new shopping list. Well, maybe you just want to start from scratch and you don't want to use the old things because it's been a week and things can change within inventory. So you could click reset decided by quantities and it will reset all of those to 0 and reset all of this information for you to review. I'm not going to do that because I want to show you what's on the mobile app. Yeah, it's super quick to do. Also, I'm just going to change this to 3, the Michael Kors watch, so we can see typically how fast that can go. It might take a second for this to upload. No, actually, no, it didn't. It's already at 3. So it goes very fast. Sometimes if it does take a second, you can click into one of these and go back and then it will update as well. But it can go really fast as well. But I know whenever I do these demonstrations, for some reason, sometimes it can take 10 seconds. So instead of immediately. But yeah, so this is the mobile app. There's a cool feature that we should have coming out very, very soon, which would be buy lists. And so you'll be able to add things to buy lists just like you would with Scoutify or any other sourcing app that exists. So that way it's a little bit easier for you to download those buy lists and upload them to Inventory Lab for your shipment. But additionally, if I were to go in here, you can see that if I go to this Amazon Basics studio box, you can click to see the Amazon listing page. You can also click to see Keepa. You can also see the cost, the quantity that you have in stock right now, the supplier, and then if you had a store section on there or any notes, those also show up as well. You can add how many quantities you want. So if I just put 1 for that, expiration dates, tax codes are important if you're doing food and that kind of stuff. Also condition, let's say the cost changed, you can actually update that. Let's say it went to $72 now. So if I do that and I click the 1, I'm going to add it to local inventory. Goes down here. You can see the date and the time. You can also see there's no expiration date, and you can see the cost says 72 instead of 71.79. So let me see how fast that updated. It would be the Amazon Basics. There we go. And so it might take a minute for this to update. Let's see. Oh, there it was. You saw that pop in there. So it shows 1 now, and we need 2. And it did not update this just yet, but if you are importing, I'm not sure, Greg, do you know if that updates right away or if that would just be an import later because you'd update it in Inventory Lab and then it would update later?
Yep, it would update later.
Okay.
Or there might be a job running in the background to do that to do that update.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Just want to make sure. But then you can see here, shop from mobile app. You can see who shopped it. So if I made a mistake whenever I was shopping, and instead I said that here I actually bought, I don't know, 11, and I clicked an extra 1, and I click add to local inventory. Well, it disappears from the list right now, which in the future you'll be able to get that back with the buy list section. But if I go back to here, it'll take a second most likely to update. Now it'll show that there's 12 on hand, that there's 11 shopped, and you would be able to see if you've got the user account set up that I was the one that did it. Since this is a demo user, it's just going to show that. And so since I have this sorted, let's go there and basics. See if that'll pull up. Amazon. Oh, it's because of the link, I think. Let's try basics. Yeah, we've got all these Amazon Basics products now. There it is down here. So there's 12. So I could go here and say, oh, we actually got 1, change that back, and it will update all of the other pieces of information. So pretty nice feature to have that so you can see who made the mistake and be able to fix that pretty much on the fly. So back to the mobile app, you can also see that under inventory, you can actually check out your inventory. If you wanted to see, hey, for some reason, I think that we need to buy a specific product. Maybe I need to buy this sing along for kids and I haven't added it. Let's just check out because I'm right here and see if I need more. You can see that there's 17 in stock at Amazon, or at least accounted for at Amazon. There's local inventory of 0. There's no buy quantity right now. I don't know why you'd want to buy this product based off the product or the profit, but if you went here and said, actually, I want to buy 2 of these, you can change that buy quantity. It's successfully been set. And then you can go into the shopping list and it'll be there as well. So pretty nice to have that. And yeah, we're constantly adding in more things to this app, and it'll continually get better. You can also search by title, ASIN, etc. You can sort by supplier. If there's any store sections entered, 132, for instance, this one shows that there's a store section that's been entered. So if you had those, you can sort all of that. And you can sort by A to Z, or I believe Z to A, however you want to do it. So, all right. Now going back into this, this is where you can export your local inventory. So let me sort this by highest to lowest. You can see that we've got, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items in local inventory. So in the future, when the buy lists get added, we'll be able to just export a buy list, and it'll be extremely simple to do so. This requires a little bit more, not much. It's still simple to do so, but you can see that it doesn't show everything in local inventory because it's based on when you purchased those products. So we did that so that anytime you had to shop or go out and shop, you could actually do it by day, you could do it by week, and export the local inventory for that week. You also this is currently just showing items that were shopped within the mobile app, but you can also click show manual adjustment. So you can see that it shows quantity of 12 for this Amazon Basics thing because I added 1 and then 11. If I click show manual adjustment, it goes down to 1 because I reduced those 11. So you want to make sure that you have that checked as well for those specific dates. And then we can clear this out or make it much farther. If I wanted to say, let's just go back to, well, I didn't want to go to 2021. Let's go to April 1st all the way to today, 5/25, and click OK. Then you can see it pulls in all of the pieces of information that has had manual adjustments. And so that way it can be as accurate as possible. So if you get rid of the manual adjustments, it's only going to show what was bought from the app. So and then you can click download, then you can upload that to your inventory lab batch. So cool. Let's move on to the next thing. I think I've covered everything. Oh, you can also add products. So if for some reason you don't have an item in your inventory and you know that you want to buy it because you were doing some sourcing online based off of pictures or something, but you know it's in store, you can add inventory by entering the ASIN here. Whenever you click add, it will pull up the product details and you can add that information so you can have it on your shopping list for your shoppers. Now, because this is a demo account, it doesn't work on the demo account, but it does work. I can assure you on the other side, on the actual side of this. So then you can enter in that information, you can click save, and then any ASINs that you added as maybe a buy quantity would pull up over here as well. Let's just say that you did this picture thing and you see, okay, this scanner or whatever it is, I can't find it at this store, but if I search by picture, it'll pull it up at Target instead of at Walmart. Well, cool. Well, maybe I can add a different supplier for that. Or maybe I found that there's a listing with 2 of these scanners and I want to add the 2 scanners together. So I would go up here, add that ASIN because there's 2 of them in one bundle. And then you could add that information to source it later on in the future. So that should cover everything on this page. You can also invite users here. If you wanted to add any kind of user permissions, name, email, and then the roles that they can fill. So it's kind of up to you. But if you've got multiple shoppers, that's a nice feature to have as well. And then lastly, in the settings, if I go to profit settings, you can adjust the profit settings for a few different things. You can have it include the shipping rate per pound for FBA shipping anyway. It doesn't do it for merchant fulfilled, but for FBA shipping, or you can do it by item. So many times, you know, we average about 25 cents per pound, but some people that are newer might average 50 cents per pound because they have less items going to Amazon. So you'll want to adjust that to be based off what you want. I believe it defaults to 0 initially. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's what it defaults to. Or if you wanted to do by item, I don't know why anybody would do that personally, but we have it there just in case. Maybe you've got that worked out because you do a specific wholesale product and it's always about this much per item. It's up to you, but it will adjust all of your inventory based off whatever you put in here. And then additionally, this is the price that we use to calculate your gross profit, your net profit, your profit percentage, and your ROI. By default, it's your sale price. So whenever it says sale price, that is your price. I personally like it at buy box price because what happens if there is no buy box price, it will default to your sale price at that point. So I like it at buy box so that I can judge the profitability based off of the current buy box. Even if my price is $5 more, it'll show me the profit based off of the buy box price. But if there is no buy box, then it will default to then your sale price. So you can make that determination. You can select your price or the sale price. You can select the buy box price, the lowest FBA, and the lowest offer as well. And then inventory settings. The last two things, you can select items that you don't want to show anymore. Maybe you closed a listing, but you didn't delete it out of Amazon. When you delete it, it gets removed from the inventory. When you close it, it still shows as an inactive item. So you could add those ASINs here. You could also add, if you do print on demand or anything else that might show up in your account, you can add those ASINs here. What that means is we won't track them. We won't keep data on them. And so that also lowers your pricing. So let's say you've got 500 print on demand products, but you've got 100 replens. Well, you would put all 500 print on demand products here, and then you would only be priced based off the 100 replens that are active for your account. And then the last thing in this section is always on the buy list. Maybe you've got an item that's just super a great seller for you, but it's hard to find, and you don't want to constantly be trying to add it back to the buy list. You can put it as an always on the buy list item, and that will always show up on this side to basically buy all of that item as it comes up. And that's what you're telling your shoppers anyway. And then the last thing, other than there's MWS settings here, is the custom ASIN shortcut. So you can actually add this. Some people use it for their repricers. Now, right now, we initially had this built in for the inventory 1 section because it would show up here in custom ASIN shortcuts. I don't believe that it shows up in inventory 2 as of right now, but that's something that we are looking to add in the future. But you could add it for your repricer. So basically, if you used Be Cool or Aura or Profit Protector Pro or Informed, you could add a link that would automatically create a link to that repricer's page based off of the repricer that you use. So that would be a nice feature to use it for. Or we actually had it initially for Keepa because we didn't have Keepa as an automatic built-in thing on the inventory 1 page, but we do on the inventory 2 page. So it's not as widely used as it used to be. And then I believe the last total thing is this little bubble down here. You can click on here to get support. There's, regularly asked questions, or you can just ask and send an email. It'll show your previous conversations as well. Or you can send an email to support@replendashboard.com, and we will be able to track the ticket that way. So, Greg, are there any questions right now?
I'm just looking. I was tracking down a video. Let me see. Miguel had a good question about about multi-packs. And
okay.
Yeah. So
what's
you
the
have
question?
a 6-pack. So you have a 6-pack, you only have 4 units. They need 2 more to complete the multi-pack. How do you juggle that? How do you balance that?
So that will be something we will have fixed here within the month.
That's why I was like,
yeah. So
that's
that's some
question.
So typically what I would tell people is you can just tell your shoppers to buy only full units, or you could have some sort of a Google sheet right now that you could say, hey, we actually need an additional 2 to fulfill this 1 unit. Or you could wait a month and then we'll have the solution for that, where you can actually enter in individual units and see that and tie them together even to other ASINs as well. So if, let's say you bought 4 and you were trying to get a 6-pack, but you couldn't find the other 2, well, those 4 will show up in inventory as 4, but you might have some other ASINs that's a 2-pack. So you can just send 2 of those 2-packs instead. So that is a solution that will be here within the month. And right now it's kind of a pain, but you can do a few different things to kind of monitor that as you move forward. So initially, we had assumed that a lot of people were buying full packs only, but I definitely have seen, especially with a lot of supply chain issues, more people buying partial multi-packs and bundles and trying to fulfill the rest of them later. So I would for right now, if you've got a shopper, like multiple people shopping for you, have some sort of a Google sheet or document that updates so that they can see it. And you can kind of move forward there.
Excellent answer. And then Jonathan had asked about mobile app install, and I sent him the instructions there. So I think that should be good for now. Looking to see if there was one that I missed.
Is there an option to select all as replens instead of one by one? Did you answer that? Did I miss that? Oh, you did. You said not really. If you want all your products as a replen, then there's really no need to use that column at all. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, and I think just to elaborate a little bit on it, so there are a lot of people that have products that that are strong replens that they want to make sure that stay towards the top of their list, but then they've I mean, you've done RAOA, you have so many different products that are probably in your Amazon inventory that you either currently do have inventory of, or maybe some that you don't. So in that sea of data, people wanted to have the ability to just check only the ones that were replens. So that's really the only advantage, is to be able to then filter and only see the 50 or 100 or 20 or whatever the much smaller list was. So that was the idea behind that checkbox, but it doesn't really add a lot of value beyond that.
Right. Jessica asked, sorry, I think I missed this part. If I order online arbitrage and put those units in local inventory, did you say that local inventory number updates when those products are received by Amazon, or I need to manually adjust? So they're actually updated whenever the shipment shows as being shipped in Amazon. So it's not just received. So let's say you send a shipment, it'll show in Amazon what is inbound. Whenever we receive that those units are inbound, or maybe it's 5 of the 10 are inbound because you have a wholesale account and you're holding back an extra 5, it will reduce the number in the local inventory by the 5 that you sent. So it doesn't mean that Amazon's received them. It just means that they are showing as inbound to Amazon. So that is a caveat, because Amazon loses some things, but we're just going based off of what you have in your local inventory. We want that to be accurate as much as possible.
Yeah. And so if you order OA, let's say you order 4 units of something, even though you've not received it at your house or at the prep center yet, you may want to add those 4 into local inventory, because that will then decrement from your 30, 60, 90 day. So just something to keep in mind, how to manage that process. So if you have more questions, feel free to shoot them our way.
Yep. Miguel said, take account for the solution that an individual item can be part of several multi-pack ASINs. So yeah, that's what I was saying before, is that if there is, let's say you bought 4 of 6, well, you will have the ability to tie individual units together to other ASINs. So let's say you've got a 2-pack and you want to send 2 2-packs because you only had 4 of those 6. You could actually move it to that, and it would create that within your buy list. So it's a lot more complicated than it initially sounds. So within the month, we will have that up and running, I believe, and that will be a huge help to people. We've got a few other cool updates as well, which we've talked about in the past, but we'll probably go through those hopefully in 2 weeks from now. So
that's the hope.
Some big updates. Actually, we want this to be obviously software that can help you scale and systematically approach your replens and wholesale business. So there's some cool systems motivated changes coming as well. But
yes. And so, and just to put a fine point on it, the idea of, I'm selling this as a single, I'm selling it as a bundle with other things, I'm selling it as a 2-pack or a 3-pack or both, and that same ASIN lives across, it is a kind of a child of all of those parents. That's exactly as Jimmy said. That's why this feature has taken way longer than any of us have wanted, just because it's very, very complex. So if you say, I want 2 3-packs and 2 2-packs, and then 2 of these bundles that has 5 of them, and then 1 single, it's like, okay, so that's 10 plus another 4, that's 14 plus 6, that's 20 plus the 1. So then you end up sourcing 21 of those single ASIN. And then how does it all shake out once you've sourced it? So now I've bought it. How do I allocate those appropriately to the different bundles? So we want to build this right the first time, and hopefully not have to touch it again after we build it.
And we also want to make sure too that not everybody has to use that solution. Let's say you just want to have your regular 2-packs, your regular 4-packs. You don't want to have them all tied together by one specific unit or something. Then, we'll have that option as well. So you won't be forced to use that if you don't like that layout. Ronald Meyer asked, on the inventory 2 view, can you see orders? You can't see specific orders, but you can see the order quantities. If I go back to that, let's see, it would be under quantity, I believe. Oh, actually, I think it would be under 30 days. If I hover over that, orders 3, units 7. So you sold 3 times, but it was 7 units total. So you can see those orders. Let me see if it shows. It will show any kind of customer order here that's pending or processing. Well, granted, that's fulfillment center processing, but either way, you can see a lot of data there.
Yep. So talk, Ron, if you wouldn't mind adding some additional, okay, got it. If there were other things that you had in mind, feel free to shoot them our way. We're always, we've looked at this all of these screens we've looked at for hours and hours and hours and hours on end, and we recognize that you guys see them differently than we do. And so I'm always interested when people ask questions that, that I'm like, no, but tell me more about that. So if there are specific, like, oh, it would really help if I had this view of this data, if there are those sort of things, let us know.
Yeah, and Greg and I both will be at the Proven Conference this year. So if you're planning to go to the Proven Conference, then you can meet us. You can give us your own suggestions. You can have us walk through a demo or ask questions, whatever, in your own account with us there. So, that's exciting. And we'll have a lot of cool, I believe a lot of major updates will be done by that date. At least that's our goal. And I know Greg feels the weight of that every day as it gets closer, but so there's a lot of cool things coming. Additionally, there was something I was going to say and I forgot. So if there are any other questions, please post them, because I know we're coming up on the hour. But for the use of the Facebook group, the support group here, please use it for just general questions of, hey, this is something that I need help with. How do I use the software for X, right? Maybe I'm trying to figure out, how do I do my buy lists, or how is it that I can see something or manipulate the data in a specific way, where we can help as a group. If you've got a specific issue with your account, please open up a support ticket at support@replendashboard.com, or use that bubble that I mentioned earlier. Because if you open it in this group and it's private to your information, we will ask you to open up a support ticket so that we can investigate it, or the developers can investigate it based off of your specific account and information. So I just wanted to request that, but just realize if you do post it in the group, we're just going to ask you to open a ticket at that point if it's private to you, because we don't want your ASINs in your account to be exposed to anybody else. So awesome. Anything else from you, Greg? Because I'm not seeing any other questions right now, unless somebody gets a buzzer beater in here.
No. No. And if I did miss something and I was supposed to send you a link or anything like that, just feel free to remind me, because it does happen.
Right.
But yeah, great questions. Really, really, really good questions. So thank you.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing I can think of too is As we come out with some of these new features, we will be making new videos as well. I know some of the demo videos initially were a little bit more outdated, which is why we're doing these every 2 weeks for people to see some of the new features as they come in. We will have more, I guess, training specifically. Also, I know we've mentioned it in the past, but we are planning, as these major upgrades come out over the next few months, we will at some point do a price increase for people that are new users. So if you're on the fence and you want to get in, try the free trial for 30 days, sign up, you won't have to be subject to that price increase. But because we'll grandfather everybody in, if you wait until after, then there will be a price increase. We don't know what yet. And most likely it'll be a few months down the road anyway. So you don't have to worry about it right now. Just fair warning. Wanted you to at least know that.
Yeah. And I'm going to plug this really quick because the humility that Jimmy has will never allow him to do it himself. So if you're a big fan of YouTube, and even if you're not, YouTube, search Ask Jimmy Smith. You get two things. One, that's where all of our Replen dashboard videos are. So any of the videos that I've linked up, you'll see those on the Ask Jimmy Smith channel page, whatever. And also you get to see all of the awesome content. So he's kind of like a superhero, Jimmy. So like by day he's a Replen ninja, and by night he's a YouTube sensation. So go out there. Sensation.
That's
right?
generous. I appreciate
is that a little okay, whatever.
A little much.
I don't no, come on.
I'm a YouTube hobbyist, let's put it that way.
All right, I'll give you that. Okay. But no, I would say that there is extremely good content out there. And I mean it's all free. So Jimmy has been he's been devoting a lot of time to putting good content out there. And you can also see his facial hair evolution too.
And my other hair too.
I
had the hockey flow going for a while, but now it's not. Even though I don't play hockey, I pretend like it. But
no more hockey flow. No more. But yeah. So, and if you're like, Replen dashboard specific stuff, there is a playlist that has all the Replen dashboard stuff out there.
And I'll most likely upload this to that playlist as well, just because it's pretty updated. We had a lot of great questions, and it's a good overview for right now. So as we add in more, I don't upload all of our demos, but I'll upload this one most likely. So
yeah. Awesome.
Cool. Well, I appreciate the plug, Greg. And Ronald asked, awesome. How do you diffuse the background on your camera?
Oh, well, there's a button on Zoom that says blur my background, and I have we're getting to the point where kids are home and school's wrapping up, so I never know who's going to be here and who's not. So I provide them fair warning, and then I can never guess who's going to wander into the shot. So that was why I did that, but there's nothing really all that fun and exciting back there.
It's a Zoom feature, right? You said
it is a Zoom feature, correct?
Yeah. So,
and
so like with my camera, if I move back, you can see it gets real clear. If I move over close, it gets real. Oh, see, it's a lot blurrier.
Oh yeah. Ah, see, Jimmy's got an see, he's a YouTuber.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But there we go. And then Doug, I'm not even going to read your comment because I'm a little upset about it. It's a hockey comment, and let's go Blues. That's all I got to say. So I appreciate it. And if anybody's on the Facebook group, you can see what the comment was, but let's go Blues. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Please ask questions, reach out if you need anything. And we will be back in 2 weeks, hopefully with some cool updates, but definitely talking about some of the improvements we're going to be making over the summer. And hopefully you guys can make it to the Proven Conference and we can meet you in person. So thank you, everybody. I hope that you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week. Greg, have a good one.
Yeah. Take care, Jimmy. Take care, everybody. See ya.